Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Stronger Than Cancer, the podcast. Today, I am really excited. This one for me is one where we're able to step back a little bit, remove some of that insightful conversation that we've had around cancer journeys and all the things we do, and actually talk about something that for me is a lot more fun. We're going to be talking about music today and its impact and how wonderful it is on this journey. We've got Elle with us today. Elle is part of an awesome podcast called Daydream Believers, which we'll talk a little bit about. However, none of you will know this, but Elle is also the editor-in-chief of Stronger Than Cancer, the podcast. So there's a little bit of work that I do, and then I send it all to Elle and say, hey, put all that together for me, make it look wonderful, and then we get it out. Elle, welcome. How are you?
Oh my gosh. Hi. Thank
I
you for
know.
having me. I'm good.
And
Thank you. How are you?
I am good. I'm good. And again, as I said, really excited about this one. And I've been thinking about it a lot,
Me
actually,
too.
because I had post-surgery and, we'll talk about that a little bit and music. But to start us off, because obviously I met you through Airtasker when I was like, hey,
Yes, I
guys, I need
know.
some help, right? I've done all this wonderful work, but I don't know how to piece it together. And you came
Mm,
to the rescue and you've taught me some wonderful things. We've developed some wonderful episodes. But you also have this awesome thing that you do on the side. And I'd love to just put some context in there. Tell us a little bit about Daydream Believers, first of all.
Well, primarily we're about music and how like it affects us and mental health and well-being. So basically me and my co-host who's also named Elle. I can get
Oh, really?
confusing, but yeah, we're cousins and we
Not
just so
Ellie.
happen to be named
Not Ellie,
after.
it's
No,
Elle.
not Ellie, it's Elle. We've both been through some pretty interesting experiences in life. Some quite similar, some quite different. We both offer very interesting perspectives. Like, I'm a mother. I don't have a relationship with my own mother as well. She's been through a lot. And we were kind of walking through a park one day, and she was like to me, I want to start a podcast about what we've been through, but connect it to music. And she's like, I couldn't think of anyone better to do it than with me, Elle. And I was like, oh my God, that is such an amazing idea because you may not realize it when you're going through things, but music is such a tool to kind of get you through, to cope, to
Yeah.
maybe even distract as well. It's such an amazing tool to get you through those tough moments in life. So, but it's not all like about the tough stuff on our podcast. We're very silly and we goof off and we talk about like nostalgia. We talk about like movies that we love, and our inner child is a big one as well. So yeah, we just kind of we want it to be like it's a really like we're friends and our audience is our friends. And to do that, we talk about music and we connect and just try to involve everyone and everything.
And
But
you
yeah,
do it really
it's
well, by
pretty
the way.
cool.
Yeah, you do it very
Oh,
well.
thanks.
I love the podcast, and I think because of my
Oh,
connection to music, it sort of resonates with me. And you're right, you do goof off.
yeah.
I think in one episode, it was really about
Yeah.
legs and needing to shave and stuff, and I was
Oh,
like, okay, that's
yeah.
I'm gonna fast
Yeah.
forward that bit. I don't need to hear that bit. Let's get back to the music. But
Yeah,
that
I'm
was
sorry about that.
no, that's all right. That's what you said. Two friends are just having a casual chat. But
Yeah.
it is a really good podcast. So you said something really interesting then. It was, Elle said, I want to do a podcast with you about all of our experiences, the highs and the lows, but I want to connect it to music. But
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, how do you do that, right? Because I think this will lead us really nicely into where I've been going. But how do you then suddenly connect that to music? I mean, what do you do? Do you go back to your experiences and go, well, how can
Hmm.
I connect that to it? How do you do that? Is that, I mean, or is that even possible?
I tend to think about the past a lot and I think about what actually got me through it. And I realized that it was very creative things like music and movies.
Yeah.
So I think at the time we both kind of knew that we both do that. And it was very easy to actually start it because we were both like, we've gone through this. My favorite bands actually got me through this, or my favorite movies got us through this. It was very easy to actually start the conversation because we were both kind of aware that we were doing it at the time. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, okay. I'm starting to understand because what you said there was quite significant. My favorite artist got me through this, and I moved from Manchester to London when I was 13 years old. I had this this big
Wow.
thick Manchester accent, because as you know, in England you can travel 5 kilometers to the left or right and you've got a completely different accent. So I moved to
Yeah.
London, and then around that 1995 part, Oasis started to come through, and
Mm.
my own popularity kind of increased a little bit because I was from what they believed was the same place, different towns within Manchester, but suddenly, I
Yeah.
wasn't just this kid with a silly accent. Suddenly I was this kid who was from almost the same place as Oasis. So it was kind of,
Yeah.
and it was a really tough transition, but suddenly having that, it just made it a little bit easier. And then for that
Yeah.
reason, that Oasis became the greatest group of all time, as far as I'm concerned.
Hell
So
yeah.
I
Hell
get what you
yeah.
mean there by it can get you through tough times. Um, I wanted to ask because what I want to try and do is, I mean, I've given that example then. I just wondered whether there was an example of that for you, in
Yeah.
terms of when did a song or even a movie, because I think it's really important on this journey that you get different sort of opportunities to move in different places. But when did a song or
Yeah.
a movie get you through a tough time? If you can, if you don't mind.
I think the really funny thing about music in particular is that you can hear a song 1,000 times, but if you're not ready to hear the message, then you're not going to hear it. It's like your heart has got to be open to actually receive the message that the song is going to give you. For example, I just to give a bit of a background, like my parents went through a divorce when I was 19, which was the easy part of the situation, but it was the relationship with my mum afterwards that kind of took a big dive. Since then, I haven't really had a relationship with her, and it's been about 11 years.
Yeah,
So, which is a bit tough, but it's fine, really. But at the time, I was going through, like I said before, a lot of self reflection. And I kind of realized that through my teen years, I had no idea who I was. I didn't make any decisions for myself or knew what I liked, even. Like, I knew very trivial things like, oh, my favorite band's the Beatles. But beyond that, I didn't know who I was really because I felt like my mum made a lot of those decisions for me. She was like the puppeteer and I was the puppet of
yeah,
my life because I think she wanted to live through me, right? So after the divorce happened and there was a lot of strife between us, I kind of started to break free from that, but without realizing that what kind of grip she had on my life. And I was washing the dishes one day because I tend to have my epiphanies while I wash dishes. But I was listening to It's My Life by Bon Jovi. Simple as song,
yeah,
right? It's my life, it's now or never. I'm never going to live forever. I just want to live while I'm alive, right? That song, I had heard it 1,000 times, I swear to God. Over and over again. I would scream the lyrics out, but it would mean nothing to me, right? But that particular moment, I was going through something that really opened my heart to this song, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. I actually need to start living life for myself and make my own decisions. And as someone who got married very young as well, and like I was 21 when I got married, and I hadn't really done anything for myself yet. Like I turned 18, I started dating my husband, and then all of a sudden my life fell apart and I was 21 and married and kind of left being like, what the F, right? Like, what do I do now? I have no idea what I want. I felt like I had no talents. I felt like I had no direction. And that song hit me at such a crucial point in my life where I discovered that I need to make decisions. It took me a really long time to execute that, like years even, because it took more stuff for me to realize what I wanted. But that song is a very pivotal moment for me,
yeah.
and it will always be special because it actually changed my life in a way that I
That's
didn't
amazing.
realize I needed at the time,
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
yeah, no, it really does, and thank you first of all, because before the episode we never talked about how personal we might get in this conversation. So I really appreciate you sharing such
Yeah.
a personal detail. Thank you. There was something you said there about sort of, and I get it, I really do, because I sort of have my own example where it was I've listened to that song 1,000 times, and I never really heard it. I sang it,
Yeah.
and maybe I even sang the words, but I never really got the message or what it was actually trying to say. And I think that's that's the case for yourself. I had a very similar experience with, and I just had to look it up because I always forget it, but it was "Wherever You Will Go" by The Calling, and
That's a great song.
I, I'd
That's a great
I'd
song.
I'd sung that song. Honestly, I'd heard it, and I was bringing it up because I was like, I really want to sort of make sure I get the lyrics right because I'd sang it and heard it, but I never really knew what it was saying. And my daughter sent it to me. She was like, I just heard this song in the car on the way to work. I'm now crying. And I think I'll cry for the rest of the day because we were going through this journey. We were, it was early in the diagnosis, and you sort of the opening line is it's so lately I've been wondering who'll be there to take my place, right? And the song literally is
Wow.
about sort of
Yeah.
going, I don't know who's going to take my place and help, keep the light, shine the light on you. But I hope at some point somebody can maybe bring me back. And at the end, it talks about I'll always be in your heart, right? But when she sent it to me, I went, well, what's saying about that? And then I was crying. That was it for the day. Then I was like, right, thanks.
Wow.
I'm now down.
Yeah.
So I have that. I get that. I get that we all do it, right? And this is, I guess, for the listeners, go back and find a song. Find a song that you've listened to 1,000 times. Do you truly know the song? Do you know what it's saying, or do you just sing along? Right?
No.
It
No.
truly has. Yeah, I've got that. And I wanted to ask you a question because it felt like that moment that you went through there wasn't just, I mean, for you personally, it was almost like a healing process as well. You got that opportunity to sort of break those shackles and go, "Do you know what, I'm going to live for myself and I'm going to do what I want to do and make sure that I enjoy those moments." So given all the conversations that you've had on your podcast, I mean, do you believe that music can help people heal? I mean, emotionally, mentally, even physically. I mean, and if so, do you have any other experiences and again, I don't want to keep going back to memories and stuff, but
Yeah.
because I do, but I don't know how to articulate it. I'm wondering, given your experience, whether you can articulate why music has that
Most.
ability.
Look, I think music does something to us that is unexplainable, kind of like what you just said. But I
Mm,
think it goes back to even when we're children, right? Sometimes when we listen to music now, we can relate it to like a past event that happened, past experiences, past feelings, something that life experiences has given us. But if you go back to children, they don't have the life experience, so they've just got their innocence. But they are the most passionate music lovers, more than most adults that I know. My son, who's nearly 5, he is so passionate about music. It's like it does something to our DNA. I think we were just born to appreciate the art. I think it does something to our heart and our brain that sometimes maybe no conversation, no thoughts, no experience can really communicate with us. So music just has a magic that maybe we'll never really understand. But it also has a way to help express what we're feeling at the time. And just to use one example, after my son was born, I had really bad postpartum depression because I had him during COVID. It was a very lonely period. My family didn't meet my son for a very long time. But it's something that affected me for up until like maybe a year ago. But there was this period of time where my son was obsessed with the movie Up. And there's
yeah,
this particular part of the score where I don't know if you've seen the movie Up, David, but
yeah,
it's the house with the balloons, right?
it's really good.
So it's amazing, right? So the part where the house goes up with the balloons, that music speaks to me on such a deep level because at the time when he was obsessed with it, I felt like I was stuck. I was stuck in the house. I didn't know how to leave the house anymore with a child because didn't have to do it for like the last 2 years because I had him during COVID,
Yeah,
right? I didn't know how to live with a child in a normal setting.
yeah,
So I felt like I couldn't leave the house. I was stuck. And I would watch Carl lift up those balloons every day, multiple times a day. And I would cry and cry and cry when the music came on because he was setting himself free, whereas I wasn't. And when I go and listen to the music from that movie now, no music with lyrics or anything, just the
yeah,
score of that movie, I feel that rush of like wanting my freedom and wanting to live. And I think that's kind of the theme through
yeah,
my life, right? Like I want to live, right, for me. But I didn't realize I was going through that until I heard that music over and over and over again. But that's just a power that music
Yeah.
has. It helps you realize what you're actually feeling, it's not just a distraction. It's not just a coping mechanism. It actually teaches you what is going on up here that you don't know. So
Yeah.
it's just a power that flows through us from children to adults.
and
So
and, and couldn't agree more with you that the children do soak music up wonderfully well, and I think it's really important to get
yeah.
music into children's lives really early because they will carry that
Yes.
through into their adult
Yeah.
life. I'm the same. I've got a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old, and my eldest, when they were that age, were the same as well. But my 4-year-old and 7-year-old
Yeah.
are obsessed. So in the car, if we put the obviously CarPlay on, the Apple Play, and they dominate. My playlist has completely
Hell
changed
yeah.
now. So my favorite list, which
Hell
Apple will
yeah.
generate at the end of the year, has now just got all
It's all
their
kids'
songs.
music.
Oh, it's all their songs,
Yeah, that's
every
me
one of them.
too.
And
Apparently, my favorite songs were all Wiggles and from the movie Sing. Those were my favorite songs
my
from
my
last year,
mine now is
apparently.
Katy Perry, and it's not she's not someone I gravitate to, but Katy Perry is at the sit at the top. You mentioned, then I've got two
Well,
questions that I wanted to ask you. You made, first of all, you mentioned scores, right? So we had have you seen Wild
mm,
Robot, the new film Wild Robot?
yes, yes,
Amazing,
yes, yes. That was
amazing film,
amazing.
really good film, but it actually has a really good movie soundtrack behind it. And there's two songs on there, which was, I think it was the one is "I Need a Boost," and it's again no
Mm,
lyrics, but it's just the bird saying to the robot, "Hey, I could do with a boost," right? And it's actually, even though it's my daughter's favorite, it's not her favorite song, but it's the favorite music without words. It's something that I go to when if I'm if it's not even if I'm in a good mood, a bad mood, a sad mood, or an uplifting. If it's just I just need some motivation, right? And I'll go
yeah.
to that and I'll immediately think of her. Then I'll think of what the journey that we're on, and then suddenly I've got all the motivation in the world. So I wanted to ask you the question of that song that you just mentioned there with Carl and the balloons and that movie. Is that a song you still go to? I mean, do you have days where you
All the
go,
time.
I need this. I just need a bit of a, I need a reminder.
All the time. All the time. My confession is that I think I actually listen to movie scores more than
Right.
like commercial music
Okay.
because I think because the message that they were giving came with visuals.
Yes.
It helps me feel the message more. Like I'll go back and listen to Lord of the Rings score. I listen to Lion King score. Music that has like the movies have a lot of power in them,
Yeah.
and this when you listen to the score, you feel the power. You really do. And like something as simple as like Rocky. Who
Yeah.
doesn't know the Rocky music, right? You can't help but when you hear the Rocky theme, you feel empowered, motivated, like you can do anything. Why, if you're in a moment where you need to feel power and motivation, that is such a good soundtrack to listen to because visually that's what it does as well. So it kind of puts all your senses together and you feel the music more
Yeah.
sometimes, in my opinion.
I think what you said there is right because you've got that visual as well as to what did that bit of,
Yeah.
even though it's got no lyrics, like I Need a
Yeah.
Boost doesn't have any lyrics, but I can look back and
Yeah.
go, I know what they were trying to say, and I know and I know how
Yeah.
the music was supposed to support that. Um, I want to add some context for the listeners here because we're having this wonderful conversation around sort of how music has helped me and you. The idea I really wanted to bring this out to the listeners because if you are struggling on this journey, or not really, but you have those days where you have those moments, you probably have some form of or some method right now that helps you. If you haven't kind of brought music into your life where, to help you lift your energy or to help you motivate yourself, my message is quite clear, and we're only a little bit into the podcast, we've got so much more to talk about, but it's bring it in, right? So let me ask you this question. And again, I only ask you this question because of the experience that you've had about talking to this in your podcast. What would your advice to be to somebody who hasn't done that, right? Who they know music, they know what their favorite song is, but it isn't something that they gravitate towards to help change mood, to help motivate, to help this, to help heal emotionally, mentally.
Mm.
How do you start doing that? Because if you've not done it from a small child, which I have, and you obviously have,
Yeah.
if you've
Yeah.
not done that, how do you suddenly go, I'm going to start using music as a therapy. Let's call it therapy because I believe music is therapy. So let's
Yeah.
call it that. How do you suddenly start doing that? Because I don't know the answer actually. I don't know what I would do now.
Well, I'm a big believer in connecting with your inner child. I think it can be very healing. A sense of nostalgia, I find can be very powerful sometimes.
Yeah.
So I would start with trying to go back in your memories and think, what did I love as a child? What movies did I love as a child? Because, like I said, I'm big on movie
Yeah.
scores. Go back to those movie soundtracks and listen. You'll find that your inner child is like, will get excited. And it's the emotions like that that will lead you to the next song, to the next song, to the next song. And once you start dabbling into that side of yourself, it kind of brings that innocence back into your heart, right? So that's where I would start personally. Like, go through the songs that someone once told you, oh, you used to be obsessed with this when you were a child. For
Yeah.
example, for me, it was Mambo Number Five. I was apparently
Was
obsessed with
it
that song when I was a child. I was obsessed. And when I
really?
hear it now, I think back to like how happy that must have made me. It's connecting me to my younger self. So that's where I would start. Go through, even being a teenager listening to music is extremely powerful. That's kind of when they're discovering themselves, their music taste. That's when I discovered the Beatles. So if I need to feel like myself again, I'll go to the music that I listened to as a teenager. And the Beatles was the biggest thing for me. They make me feel like me.
Is that right?
And I think when you're facing something that is so like cancer, that is so unknown, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, you find yourself in a dark place. I I feel like music can connect you back to yourself and find yourself in dark times like that. And connecting with a younger self, so who you are at your core, is a way to help you do that. So my first suggestion is to go back to when you're a kid
Yeah.
and really bring that music out and listen to it over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
set the scene. Like I don't know if we had mentioned it in the episode, but we spoke about before the interview started how after you had your surgery, you put your headphones in and you walked and walked and
Yeah.
walked. Set the scene for yourself. Get those amazing headphones. Lie in your bed and literally stare at your ceiling and listen, really listen.
Yeah.
Go for the walk, be in nature, listen to the music, let it flow. That's
I
my
guess
suggestion.
there's a couple of things that come up there. I mean, the thing that I thought last there was remind yourself of why you truly loved that song back in the day. You know what was it
Yeah,
about that song that made you feel happy? Like you said, Mambo Number Five. Suddenly you came alive, and it was you. So it's kind of go back and remind yourself. "Hey, I wonder why I really like that. What did it make me feel like?"
yeah,
And then the other thing that I think if we're offering more advice to people that haven't yet done that, if you're going to go back to the very beginning and go, okay, well, what songs did I grow up with? Because I do that. I'd love to go back to my childhood, and I know that almost every song from my certainly my earliest years, because I've got quite a long and vivid memory. My wife's quite surprised about the
mm,
things I remember, but all my music was my mum's and dad's, and I know that we all get that. And I'm not sure if that's the same for you, if whether your dad or your mum were a big Beatles fan. My
yeah,
dad and my mum, they had similar taste, but it was Fleetwood Mac, ELO, Beatles. Yes,
yeah,
was obviously always in there. I think that's in everyone's top three at the very least.
yeah,
But it was all of those sort of groups. And even today, I mean, I remember last week just sitting going, I'm just going to listen to Balance of Power by ELO. It was nothing to do about reminding me of times with my dad or my mum, but I was like, I just remember where I was at certain times listening to
yeah,
this particular song, and I remember how it made me feel. Like you said, remind yourself of how you made it feel. So, if we can offer any advice to double down on what you said, because I think that was amazing advice, go back, but then start a playlist. You almost want to create a playlist, add that song in. I click star on, if I hear a song that reminds me of something, I click star if it's a favorite song, and it goes straight to my favorites. But you almost want to create a soundtrack of your life, right? Something that you can just go
hell
to at
yes,
the
that's a
drop
perfect
of
way
a
to put
hat.
it.
Yeah, you go, okay, I've got my playlist now from when I was aged 1 right the way to 45, and on a particular day or any day, I'm going to put it on, and if that's not the song for me, I'll skip it. The next song will be the song
Yeah,
for me, and that's what I did. You're right. At the hospital, I was told that almost instantly after surgery they want me up and about walking. And as I said, the first day, it was like 2 3 minutes. I kind of got halfway down the corridor and went, this isn't for me. This is hurting too much. But where my
yeah,
bed was, I could see the garden. And I was like, I probably
yeah,
should get out there, right? And everyone was going, you need to walk, otherwise you're not going to go home, because there were certain tip
yeah,
boxes that I had to achieve. And I was like, all right, okay. And only when I put my headphones on did I get to the door of the garden and I started to walk. First day I did about 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, that was good. Headphones on, I felt great. Then I got it on again, And I went the next day, and as I said to you, that one of those days, I think it was a third day. I mean, I just did laps for 2 hours. I was there, and I had the playlist of my life on, the one that's got all my favorites in, and some songs I shuffled through. I didn't want to listen to them, whether they were good or bad, but others I just went, this is the one. And then sometimes I listened to them 3 times. I was like, just repeat that
Yeah,
one because it
hell
was
yeah.
such a
Soak it
good song.
in.
Yeah, just such a good
Hell
song.
yeah.
So there was a um, there was I think that's really good because I wanted to add that context in. There was a reason why we were talking about music today, and it wasn't just because we love
Yeah.
music. It was because I honestly believe, as we said at the beginning, it has the ability to help and actually has the ability to heal people sort of emotionally, mentally, where you get the opportunity to go, I'm not feeling my best today. I'm not motivated. I just don't feel like myself. What am I going to do? And if all else fails, put those headphones on. I love the fact that you said as well, you don't have to walk, you don't have to do anything. You can actually just sit and just close your
Yeah.
eyes and put your song on, and I guarantee you it will have an instant impact. I wanted to ask you because we've kind of gone through it, and I'm interested in sort of just hearing a bit more about yourself. So this is going to be quick fire, and you don't get time to think about this, right? You've just got to answer off the top, because I know that if I get time to think, I get all like, oh, it could be this, it could be that. So I'll ask you a couple of questions, and we're going to go quick. Favorite song?
Okay.
Favorite
Oh
song?
shit. Okay. You know what? A Day in the Life by the Beatles.
Okay, all right, lovely.
Boom.
Favorite
That's
artist?
an amazing song.
Solo artist?
Oh crap.
It's hard when
Oh,
you've got
that's
time to
really
think
hard because
about
I
it.
don't. It's hard because I feel like I actually don't listen to a lot of solo artists. Ah, damn it.
Gotta
But
have
you know what?
one.
Elvis Presley.
Oh,
Elvis
nice.
Presley.
Okay, I wouldn't have picked
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't know you amazingly well, but I know you well enough maybe to go. I wouldn't have picked that given everything you've said. Okay, favorite group,
Yeah.
and I think I know the answer given everything you've said.
The
It's
Beatles.
the Beatles.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Beatles. I'll also add Guns N' Roses, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm a bit of a rock girl.
Oh, you were only allowed one, but I'll let you have those two as well.
Okay. Just had to throw it
I'm
in.
gonna
I had
I'm
to.
gonna
I'm
edit
sorry.
that out. No, I'm only joking. I
I'm
can't.
the
I was
editor
gonna
here,
say
mate.
I
I'm
can't
the
edit it.
editor.
Yeah, I'm stuck with that answer now. Okay, no, it's perfect. So we talked originally as well because, and I'm okay with moving sideways here because you said you love movies, right?
Yeah.
And I too love to sit and go back. I mean, I remember some of like Goonies being one of my earliest sort of actually Cannonball Run. I don't know if you know this film. It's a really old film from
Ooh,
about
I've heard of it, but I
1984,
haven't seen
1985.
it.
Seems to stick in my head because my auntie, I used to watch it at her house. She had the VHS, and we watched it a couple of times. But I had like The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy. The Goonies, I think, was around about the same time.
Mm,
I know my favorite movie. I think movies, I think, are also a great way of going, I just need some downtime, right? I need some time to myself. Yes, you can put your headphones on, you can meditate, do all those things. But if you just need some time to yourself, same advice, really. Pick a movie from back in the day that you just absolutely loved and you sat and watched as a
hell yeah.
child and just watch it and remember why you loved that film. So, quick fire question, no thinking, favorite movie?
I think it's Star Wars Episode 5,
Really?
Empire Strikes Back.
Okay. And so are
Yeah.
you a Star Wars buff then?
Huge,
Is
yeah.
that right?
Well, of the original and the prequels, like I absolutely love them. Like I grew up with it.
Yeah, okay.
I One of my first memories ever is when Luke is taking off Vader's helmet, and like you've got the Vader theme that kind of plays in the background. And I remember being like 3, 4 years old and thinking, what is happening right now is really important. Like I felt the stakes as a toddler.
Yeah.
So it's just yeah, movies that I love.
I love that you felt the stakes. The stakes were high of that scene, even though we know it's not real. But you're like, oh,
Yes.
I'm so involved
Yeah.
in that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So then
Yeah.
let me ask you this then, because obviously Star Wars has an amazing score, right, in the background, as you said.
Oh
Every
yeah.
scene has.
Hmm.
So again, I won't make this so much quick fire, but what's your favorite score when you think about a film? Where do you go to and go, I loved the score of that film?
I'm actually I'm actually gonna say Lord of the Rings,
Right.
like the trilogy.
Yeah, I might upset you
It's
here. I've never seen it. I know.
That is
I
upsetting.
know. I
That is
just.
upset. Oh, please do. It is such a wonderful story about friendship and togetherness and trying to save each other. Like it's Oh,
Yeah,
God, it's so good.
I think it might be Lord of the Rings. I'm pretty sure it is. My wife's auntie Josephine absolutely loves them, the whole thing. You know what it is? Every time I turn an episode, it's like just over 2 hours and a bit, and I sort of go, oh, I don't know if I've got that time. But my wife keeps saying, yeah, you've got to sit down and watch that and go through it. There was
Absolutely.
a there was a reason I sort of did that. I sort of went, okay, how can we again? Because I'm really conscious that this podcast is all about creating insights and giving people things to walk away with tangible that they can put in their life. And I think we've done that number one by saying, go back, right, and pick all those songs and create that playlist of your life, and then use it on the days where you feel down. But if you struggle, just do what we did there. Just go quick firing yourself. What's my favorite song? Boom, it's this one. Okay. And then if all of a sudden you float away and you go, oh, but I do remember this one, you're going to start to open up. So sometimes when you ask yourself those quick fire questions and you don't give your time to think, actually you get more answers than you would have thought. So just go through that. Just go, I'm just going to ask myself 5 questions. What's my favorite song? What's my favorite solo? Who's my favorite solo artist? Favorite artist or group, excuse me. And then let's move into movies and scores, right? Because everyone knows what the scores are, movie soundtracks. So that would be, again, there was a reason for it. There was a method in my madness in terms of
It
just
was
sort of
good. It
firing
was
those.
good.
Look, I want to sort of, we've, we've, I think we've given people enough to understand, this is two people, as you said at the very beginning, you've had certain experiences in your life, and I'm now going through mine, and I've also got my things in the past as well. But music has played such a pivotal part in just helping me make sense of it, pull me out of that moment, motivate myself. I mean, how many times do you see guys at the gym with the big headphones on? They're not wearing them because they look cool, although I do think some of those guys do think they look cool.
Problem solved.
But
Probably they
they're
are.
they're listening to their favorite podcast, their favorite music, whatever it might be, because it's not just background noise. It's
Yeah.
actually it's a part of you, and it resonates and it brings something out of you. So there's certainly a place for music and movies in our lives in any situation that we're in. Um, and so I think, and I didn't know I was going to do this, but I think we'll sign off with, the old, you're on a desert island, you can only play 3 songs
Oof.
over and over again, right? So we'll do that one, and then we'll sign off with that, even though I've given you the quick fire, but you're on a desert island. In fact, let's do this, because I didn't, again, I'm just thinking of something. You can take one person with you who is connected to music. That can be an artist, that can be a group, or that can be somebody who's even done a score, whatever that might be. And what song are you taking to listen to over and over again?
Oof.
Because I know
Is
your
it just
favorite
one
song.
one song?
Yeah, I know your favorite song, but is that a song you can listen to over and over again?
It is in certain moments, but not all the time.
Yeah.
You know.
Is there a song you can
That's a
go to
really
at
hard
any
one.
given time? I mean, I'm even thinking now, going, oh, I don't know. I
I
don't know
I
which one it
actually
would
don't
be.
know. That's a really hard one.
Maybe that's for the next
You know,
episode.
maybe, but I will say this. This is going to be a very vague answer. But any song that reminds you of my child, like
Okay.
my son, I could listen to anytime.
Okay.
Songs that just kind of remind me of him. Like,
And what
to be honest, any of his music,
I was going to
like
say,
songs
what's
that
his
he
favorite
loves, I
song?
could
What's
actually.
his favorite song?
Oh my god, like I can't even. He's got so many loves. Like
Has you got to
at the
go to
moment,
right
it's
now?
it's
Because my kids change. Right now,
right now
it's
it's the
Hollaback
Pokemon
Girl.
theme song.
Oh, is it right?
Don't forget
Okay.
he is 4.
Correct. Yeah. So my son
um,
is 4 as well, and he come out the other day
yeah,
and goes, I know the song. It's Hollaback Girl by Gwen Stefani, and
Hollaback Girl, I
he
love it.
memorized it. They are just playing that in the car over and over. They are killing me.
Mm,
Um,
yeah,
Elle, I wanted to thank you because we didn't we didn't plan this in terms of how we wanted this to come out. We said that we were just going to let this conversation flow. But I do now. I look at this and go, there is certainly something that we can all take away from this in terms of why music is so important, and that was the message that I really wanted to get across to the listeners. So Elle, I really thank you for that, because you really helped me dig that out wonderfully well. And if anyone wants to hear more from Elle, get onto the podcast Daydream Believers. It is amazing, and they are both wonderful. Elle, thank you so much. That I really appreciate you coming on today and helping me sort of pull that message out.
thank you so much for having me, David. It was a pleasure.
All right, thank you.